Welcome to the Sportscast, June 12th, 2018. If you haven't yet, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, or Periscope to receive notifications for the next cast. And if you are on iTunes, please leave us a review and rating. It'll help us out tremendously. The World Cup final is set. France versus Croatia. One has a championship, the other does not. But yesterday, Croatia beat England out of nowhere. England was up 1-0. They were ahead for almost an hour and 45 minutes until Croatia came back at the end, sending the game into overtime, and Croatia scoring another goal to make it 2-1 to send them to the final. And we have Jorge Montoya on the Sportscast. Welcome.
Hey, man, what's up?
So, George, we'll first go over this match that happened yesterday between Croatia and England. It felt like England was very confident after the first half, but then Croatia's mental muscles came through. Do you think Croatia is the real deal and they're going to, fight it to the end?
Yeah, man, absolutely. It was England scored that first goal really early in the game. Trippier, that was an incredible goal they scored, and they, like I said, it's kind of similar. They played a kind of similar style that they did against Colombia. Like, they basically, even though there was 0 at the time in Colombia, they just played very, like bend not break kind of play. They weren't doing too many aggressive playing. They're like, they're already in the lead. They're kind of playing a little cautious. But the incredible thing about Croatia is that, man, these guys are just fighters, man. They're warriors, because even in the second half started, like, you saw, midway towards the second half, you saw Croatia was just, full speed in a sense, kind of, like, compared to England. England was sluggish, slow, and I was like, man, like, these guys have played so much. How do these guys still have especially Modric, how do these guys have, it's fortitude, they've played so many long games ahead of this game, and somehow they look more fresher, more explosive, and they came back, man. They came back strong, I always pick Croatia to win this game. I was surprised England got that first goal. It was an incredible goal, but I thought it was going to penalties, but I didn't doubt Croatia was going to tie. I knew they were going to at least tie it for sure.
Yeah, you're right. I think first half, Croatia was playing a little chill. I didn't see much urgency, but then the second half, they changed. I think their mental toughness came through, and they never stopped. And it felt like they had an easier time with England than Russia.
Well, Russia's kind of plays a similar style in Croatia. They're a Brazilian team. Obviously, they don't have the same star power and Croatia has, but it all depends on your strategy and your tactical decisions in the field, and and that's the thing. That's why I love France, because France is very balanced in both sides. They could score 4 goals on you if they want to, like against Argentina, if they have to, or they could just play a very defensive kind of counter-attack strategy. So. Croatia, I thought they were the best team in the right side of the bracket, especially after Spain got knocked out early. I thought they were the best team. And throughout, you even see it throughout the group stage, France and Croatia really were the ones that played the most balance of all the teams. They weren't, even they struggled in some games, it wasn't that big of a struggle, They were just maybe off a little bit, but they still ended up pulling a win,
Yeah, you're right. I think those two teams were definitely favorites. I know that Croatia, after the group stage, people were saying, guys, Croatia's top four, watch out for them. And then for France was the same thing. Everyone was saying, well, France didn't start well, didn't have a good group stage. It was kind of dull. But I agree very much with you. If they have to score 4 goals, they have to do it. If they just score with one is enough. They only pull their muscles when they really, really have to. And, looking at the past games, I think the one against Argentina was like 4-3. I think that might have been their best challenge. You could say Belgium was a good challenge, but they didn't really have to stress it out with Belgium. Now looking forward to the final, France versus Croatia. what do you think will happen? Do you think France could handle Croatia's toughness, or do you think Croatia has enough to go all the way, to the end?
Yeah, well, the people that say that France struggled in the group stage really maybe they don't watch the games that much. I mean, I watched pretty much all of them, and they had 7 points to get out of the group stage, and they had the tie in the end against Denmark. But remember, that game didn't mean anything because they both were advancing. So they could have easily won all 3 games. Maybe they struggled against Australia a little bit, but I mean, it's a World Cup, but they still pulled off the win, which all that really what matters, It's not like, for me, it's like a team like Belgium, for example, where they struggled against Japan and almost lost and came back in the end. Like France didn't have like those games like that. So Croatia against France is going to be a really great match. I think France by far has had the best defense over like any of the teams. They just have those 2 young guys in the corner, Hernandez and Var. They stepped up huge. What I've known about them is that they weren't even projected to be starters, prior to the World Cup starting. I think they had a couple of injuries, right? I think there was a couple of injuries, and these 2 guys were kind of unknowns a little bit, and they stepped up huge.
Yeah, Benjamin Pavard that plays for Stuttgart, and Lucas Hernandez, which I had never heard of him before this tournament. He has, he's played almost every match of the tournament so far, and you got Varane and Umtiti. I mean, after Uruguay, or maybe or maybe before Uruguay, France has the better defense than Croatia. Yeah,
Varane, how you pronounce it, Varane, like he was, man, he's incredible, man. He's really, really good. And I mean, and they have 2 defensive kind of midfielders in a sense.
And Golo Kante and Pogba.
Yeah.
Which, watch out for Kante. I think he's a very key player. He's helped out Leicester win the championship, win the league for the Premier League. Also helped Chelsea. So he's a very championship-minded guy. I think he's the key player, and Pogba as well. Pogba, supposedly, he's the next Zidane. Have we seen the best of Pogba, or do you think he's playing enough for this team?
Well, he struggled earlier. I think the last couple of games he's been getting better and better. So, he's always been one of those guys that he just plays defense. He just does all the hard work, and they don't hear much about him. He doesn't really offensive mind, but that's good. You have an extra defender there. Pogba's getting better. Giroud, is it Giroud? How you pronounce him? Like
Giroud.
I don't really like the way he's played. I think he's Giroud. Yeah, Giroud. He hasn't really.
He hasn't scored.
It's kind of. Yeah. Huh?
He has not scored. Giroud has not scored all tournament.
No. He hasn't. Nah, he's struggled, man. He struggled to get when he gets the ball. He doesn't hit. He doesn't have that last touch. But even though he's, like the team is stacked, I think Mbappe's always been the better offensive player there so far, and now as a Griezmann, he's been, the glue in the middle there. But Croatia, on the other hand, they've just been, man, every game has been just a battle to the end, right? And obviously France should be the favorites. I think they're the most balanced team, but in my mind it says, oh yeah, France is going to win. But then I can't really say easily. Croatia's it just feels like Croatia's one of those like destined to win kind of teams. Kind of like my heart is saying, look, man, these guys are just putting everything out there. But I would say France. I mean, I am kind of rooting for France, but I wouldn't be excited if Croatia wins because whoever wins it obviously is going to deserve it. They're both playing great soccer.
Would you be surprised if Croatia wins?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I think everyone doubted them throughout the whole tournament. And like I said, they've been playing, overtime penalties back-to-back, and then the overtime game here that just passed. They're like, oh, they're not going to have enough legs to do it. But for me, it feels like when these guys are down, they just play even harder in the second half, and they just outplay you. They just come back strong, and they don't. I mean, you think about it, they had a lot of they could have scored so many goals, in the second half. They got so close before overtime, they got so close so many times. And the goalkeeper, man, I love that goalkeeper. What's his name again? Something like that.
His name is Daniel Subasic.
Yeah, Subasic. Yeah, he's great, man. He might be. I think. What is that word card with the word at the end of the World Cup for the goalkeepers? I think he's probably gonna win it.
The Golden Glove.
Yeah, Golden Gloves. Yeah, he's been playing, man, very clutch, and the defense is solid as well. And I mean the strength of Croatia is their midfield. They have a lot of great players there. Not only Modric, Kovacic, right, and other guy, I forgot his name.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce these names, but
Perisic.
Yeah, and then him and other forwards. They all, I mean, the weakness could be their forwards, but they're all kind of balanced. They don't have like one superstar there. They just all kind of play hard and they do their job. But I think France is always somewhat deeper. They're just a more, more experienced team in a sense.
Yeah, I think Croatia.
Going onto the wire.
Yeah, Croatia has the best midfield of the tournament, probably more than France, but maybe by a hairline. I mean, France has a great midfield. Don't get me wrong, but I think Croatia, like I said, very experienced midfield. That's probably the right word. They could pull this off, and it'd be funny if they pull it off in extra time or in PKs.
It feels like it could easily go that way. I mean, I don't see how the way France and Croatia play they don't make too many huge errors. So the puck, that counter strategy, play defense first, and bend and don't break kind of game, and take advantage of whatever mistakes you make. So it could be one of those games kind of similar, like a 1-0, 2-1 game, like that. I don't see like crazy,
Yeah.
Crazy this year.
The very last time they faced in the World Cup was 1998 when France beat them 2-1, and it was a Croatia that was it was their first World Cup. It was with Šuker, Davor Šuker. He was the main star of the team, and this team, I mean, they're probably they're a very young country. It's a small country, but great soccer stars. Very very strong, very good midfield. Mandzukic plays for Roma, so he plays in the Serie A in the top 4 European clubs. But as a Colombian, you were pretty happy Croatia beat England, right?
Yes, man. I really it was funny because I mean I thought England was. They made it far, but I don't think they played that well. I mean, compared to every other team, even though other people had less talent, they played better, stronger. England was, didn't really think they had a chance against Croatia, which they did. But I just didn't like the way they were playing. I thought all the big names they have there, they didn't have that. I don't know. They didn't have that consistency, And Kane, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a great player, but most of those goals were penalty kicks he took and. Set pieces like that. He only had like one open field goal, I believe, out of the 6 open play goal. So a lot of the guys underperformed. I think Trippier was probably the best player they had throughout the whole tournament. I really liked him. He got hurt in the end of the game, which I hope he recovers from that. And maybe in a third place game we might actually see them play each other. Belgium and them fools friends, which I don't know. I don't really know how the history is in the World Cup third place game. Do they really play everyone else, or do they play their bench more? I mean, I don't know. Do they really fight for the third place?
Historically, it's been a mix of starters and the B team, like the bench players. Depends how much they want it. Like, I would like to leave with a medal, not empty-handed.
Well, that's true. You do get a medal for third, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like the coach from Uruguay saying, "Hey, I mean, I'd rather go to the rather be in the semifinals. You could win one of the 3 medals and not come out empty-handed." But I mean, I will play for the bronze medal, and be like a very strong third place. I mean, they were talking about how it's better to play at a World Cup third place medal than at a Gold Cup or a Copa America, third place medal.
It's true.
It has more valor. It's like, hey, yeah, I mean, I have it right there in my trophy box. I got a World Cup medal.
Yeah, the World Cup games, really, when you think about it, I mean, even I think the group stage alone, it's better than playing playoffs in one of those cup games, like the clubs and stuff, right? I mean, think about it. Like, this is for your country. This is against all the whole world. Once every 4 years. I mean, I think every game is so much more valuable on average than any game you'll play for, your club. You know what I mean? Because you have that every year. You have superstars around you, and other teams have more money than other teams, so you get more stacked. Like, it's not as even. So like, yeah, the World Cup obviously is, I think, the greatest. I think, so spectacle in sports. I mean, that's my favorite. I think I'll take that over a Super Bowl. Really, I love football. I love Super Bowls, but I love the World Cup. I think it's the most amazing tournament in sports.
There is an argument out there that people are saying that the Champions League is more, it's much more better than the World Cup. There's this huge argument, but I think in the World Cup there's more emotion. There's more, there's more blood in it, I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean, maybe the Champions Cup, maybe that's just more balanced because their teams are more stronger in general. But like the World Cup, I mean, it's you got to understand it's based on your country, and it's the teams are more, I guess, I want to say even out, but they're not stacked also with like all these superstars, unless you're obviously your country like Brazil or something like that. But like for the most part, you always see those underdog teams, play very hard and make it far, like Russia, like Russia did, so. Like, I think the World Cup means more. I mean, if you win a Champions League or a World Cup title, well, it means more. Come on. Obviously, the World Cup.
World Cup, I think because World Cup is harder to get. It's every 4 years. And once you reach the World Cup, you only have one chance, it feels like. I think playing more than one World Cup is hard. I think some players have done it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen, players playing 4 World Cups. But if you don't get it right, your chances for the next World Cup to win it could be anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was like every 3 years instead. I want to see it like more often, but obviously it would lose its, its importance kind of thing, It's
quality. So, I mean, yeah, I really hope like the whole 48 team might go back down to 32 after they see it. What happens? I don't think it's going to work out. I really think they're going to put it down to. I think 32 or 24 is a perfect number.
Yeah, I mean, I think 32 is perfect. I don't think they need to change that. I just think they should make it where less teams make it out of like certain places of the world, like Africa and Asia. I think they should have like maybe instead of 4 countries going out of Africa, maybe 3, and then add another one spot to Europe and then take another spot to South America. Just to make more better teams in the World Cup, because I feel like Europe and South America, they're just so stacked. Teams like Chile, in Spain, Italy, Netherlands, these teams deserve to be in the World Cup. They're just still the best in the world, and to have you fight it out, with other great teams, it just feels like you get robbed. Maybe that's why they're doing it 2 or 48. That way, almost everyone goes in. But then the bad side of that is you're gonna have like really terrible teams that if they score 1 goal, it'll be like great for them.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. For South America, they have 4 spots, but then the 5th spot plays a playoff against a team from Asia or from the Oceania. I think South America should have solid 5 spots, maybe even 6, because South America. Yeah, someone needs to counter Europe a little bit more.
In the playoff,
Yeah, like Europe has about like 14 spots, I think, but South America is probably right now is the only continent that can counter Europe the best.
Of course. It's always been that way historically, right? South America's I think they only have 10 teams, right? 10 teams play?
From South America, only 10. Yeah. But I still think it's just, keep it 5 spots.
Yeah, it should be like 5 guaranteed spots, then one playoff. Because usually, like, out of the 10 teams, like 8 of them are like pretty competitive,
Yeah, Paraguay's pretty good. Chile, missed out. Maybe there's probably 2 teams that didn't make it out of South America that could have competed, like Chile and Paraguay. Maybe even Venezuela. They have some good matches sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, Chile. I wish they would have made it. They kind of got unlucky in the end. But I don't know, man. It's one of those things where you gotta play hard. And the only thing I guess it makes sense, but to qualify for the World Cup, you have to play 2-3 years, of games? Like,
it's usually 2 years of games. But the thing is, Europe has more of an advantage. Europe has a Euro Cup every 4 years, and it's right between each World Cup. But the Euro Cup is pretty much just like a World Cup for them.
So when's the next one?
The Euro Cup will be in 2020.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I didn't even know that.
I know, because Europeans are more equipped. They're pretty much – look, the Euro Cup is pretty much another World Cup, but just minus South America. That's what it is.
Yeah, they should include them just for making it funner.
I would like to see just like one team, like put Brazil in it, see how it works, see how it goes.
Hey, yeah, because you have those cups where they invite like a couple teams, right? Like, wasn't there a cup coming up that they invited 2 teams to it?
Only Copa America has done it, and the Gold Cup. But Copa America typically invites like 2 guest teams. It's typically Mexico and some other team.
Teams, right?
What was that?
I think I heard it was the Gold. I think it was the Gold Cup that's about to start. I think it's Gold Cup. I'm not sure, but they invite these 2 teams. I think they're just terrible teams. I don't even know what they were.
In the past, they usually invite Brazil is one of them, and then not anymore because CONCACAF has so much countries. Got the Caribbean, got Trinidad, Antigua. They used to invite Brazil all the time, but now it's just I think they just kept it inside the Confederation.
Yeah, they see the Gold Cup. I'm trying to see who they invited, man. They invited these 2 teams.
Copa America has invited Japan before. Can you believe that?
Yeah, wow.
But other than that, there is other tournaments between the World Cup cycles. I really do think I really do think Europe has really well set up. I'm not saying that we don't in the CONCACAF or CONMEBOL, but CONMEBOL they have the Copa America like the year after, which is next summer. But then that's it. Then they just have World Cup qualifying, and Euro Cup is right in between. But I did hear for Copa America they might put CONCACAF and CONMEBOL together, so it would be USA, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama all like in one to compete against the Euro Cup.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, and that would be actually a lot more exciting for sure.
And they did that in 2016, so I'd like to see that more. I think it would be better for both confederations. More has more competition, and will get the teams equipped. And they should probably do it at the same time as the Euro Cup, or like around like those same dates. I think it would be great, but. Anyways, we're coming to the near the end of the show. What is your final goal score prediction?
Man. See either way, but I would say 2-1 France.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-1. It's gonna be high scoring. I was gonna say 1-0. It might take 1-0 because it feels like Belgium is. Kind of similar to Croatia in some ways, but Belgium has more creativity. I'm going to say
I think if it was 1-0, I think it'll be France.
Yeah, France. France will not win pretty. They're going to win like whatever it takes. It could take 1 goal, and that'll be enough for them.
Because I don't see how Croatia's up 1-0. I don't see how France doesn't tie it at least. So I think it's harder to score in France than Croatia. But I could see Croatia scoring a goal and tying it up, and then France maybe pulls away or something like that. But I don't see. I'd be crazy to see like 2-3 or 4-1 or something like that. I don't see it. But so who are you rooting for? Who? France or Croatia?
I'm rooting for France. I like France. They're going to win it all, and I'm sticking with the EA Sports prediction where they had France winning the tournament. They had that prediction before the tournament started.
But did they have the score or no? They just predicted?
The simulation. They had, I think it was France versus Germany, and France winning in penalty kicks.
Interesting.
But that was Germany.
This World Cup has been wild. I always put France in the final four and possibly finals. Before they started. Now, obviously, they made it, but Germany was just, man, what a disappointment. I think Spain was probably the biggest disappointment, then probably Germany. I think Spain was like,
oh yeah, well,
I don't know. I mean,
with Spain, they had the issues with the coach. That was a open up a can of worms.
That's true.
But
Germany just felt like they were just old and tired, and like maybe just all those guys that play in the EuroLeague and stuff like that. They must just been worn out, man.
That's the thing with the World Cups. I mean, like my whole new philosophy now is you got to take young players in their 20s, youth and speed, because you're dealing with players coming back after one whole season and then coming to a World Cup, which is high intensity. So, and you can only have a 20-year-old handle this this high intensity, high cardio, high regiment tournament, rather than a 30-year-old that's, oh my gosh, he's probably worn out. But that's the thing with Germany. Germany didn't take the player from Manchester City, Hane.
Yep.
And they relied too much on the old players.
That was a huge mistake.
Huge mistake. And I think they should fire the coach. I mean, look, he's been there for 12 years. If he's relying on his old players still, forget it.
Well, that was the issue. Was that he had the issue with Sean and something happened within the team, and he didn't like him.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a coach, obviously, you might not agree with some things players say or some things they do. But in the end, you must always think, like, what's the best for my team to win? And this guy, has, youth and speed and creativity, and he has a lot of potential. You have to put him in the team, regardless if you like him or not. Maybe don't start him off the bat. Maybe, put him on the bench and then put him in slowly in the second half and see what happens. But you have to take him. You just can't say, you know what, no, someone's probably a better option, which is not true. Come on, man. So, yeah, that's what he should probably do. He probably will get fired.
He actually did not. He got a contract extension for 2 more years.
Doesn't make any sense, but okay.
I know. He probably has to redeem himself for the Euro Cup in 2020, so we'll see where the cookie crumbles. But that's all we have today. World Cup preview, World Cup final preview. It was a good tournament. George will probably come back to recap the final and the tournament itself. And how can people reach you, George?
Through email, man. That's social media for me. Eternal41288@gmail.com.
You did mention you might join Instagram, right?
Yeah, possibly in the future, man. But not necessarily 100% on that yet.
Twitter's a good one. Twitter's fair. No one really follows you much, but people can talk to you after the sportscast if you join.
Yeah. There's so many time-consuming things, man. So, but yeah,
it's all about time management, and you need time management in the World Cup. If you need to reach me at Sleon or SleonProductions.com, and please subscribe on YouTube, Periscope, and iTunes. And if you're in iTunes, please rate us, review us, so it can help us out search. Our views have been going high this past couple of weeks because of the World Cup. Hopefully, we'll continue this drive to the NFL season. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. That's my favorite sport right there.
Right there, man. Can't wait. We'll see big things, what happens, and we'll see how Frank Gore does in the Miami Dolphins. George, appreciate you coming to the Sportscast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.